Welcome in, everybody, to On the Sidelines. My name is Seth Hagan, Hunter Price, to my left as always. And you guys have joined us for game week. It is game week officially here in the state of Alabama and across the United States. And, man, we're just feeling great. There's a whole bunch of games to get to. There were a few games this weekend, not a bunch of huge games, a bunch of blowouts. But we'll see a few of those, but we're here to talk about possibly one of the best opening weekends of college football. We're going to cover all your SEC needs as well. So it's going to be a fun, we're just going to pack you full of information.
What are we going to do, Seth?
I'm telling
Pack
everybody.
you full of information.
Yes. We're going to let you guys know how things are going to end up because, I mean, we've got our own predictions. We'll kind of cross-reference those with where they have the –
I want to change my East prediction.
Oh, you do you?
I do.
Okay, well, make sure y'all head over to the Facebook page. We've got On the Sidelines Facebook page. We put out some preliminary rankings back in June after the SEC Media Days, but there are a couple of things moving and grooving. Not too many big injuries have affected these teams, which is good. Arkansas handling a little more than its fair share, but we're just gonna get it started.
There's been some injuries, though. I mean, I think it's important we start off where we do the SEC preview to talk about Clint Myers retiring.
Okay.
And
let's go ahead and let's do
I don't want to dive
Get that
into it too much because you know my stance on negative sports and sports shows. You know, if you want to, you know, your drama and your TMZ, you can go to ESPN. That's the way I see it.
We've got a lot of that.
We like to cover the good things in sports here. We like to actually talk sports on this show.
Yeah, what happens on the field. This is On the Sidelines. We're going to keep it on the field.
Sidelines. But Clint Myers retired. There's an investigation for sexual abuse and different things going on there, and it's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
So
it's
we'll
disappointing.
leave it at that, and it's disappointing, especially for a guy that came in and turned really a softball program that was nothing into a powerhouse.
Yeah, a couple years in a row in Oklahoma, finishing out the season, almost winning that national title a couple of years ago.
It's going to be really interesting to see. This is not something you want to come out right before the start of the football season, especially because Jay Jacobs is involved. Well, I don't know if he's involved or not, and that's why we don't need to talk about it.
By
association,
yeah,
yes, and others. So we'll leave it at that. And then last night, Raekwon Davis, defensive lineman for Alabama,
shot in the leg.
Was shot in the leg. Do you know the detail? What are the details?
Just that he was in fact shot in the leg. It wasn't anywhere else. It apparently did not graze. It did hit him. So his status is up in the air for the first week against Florida State. I'll be in the house for that game. Hunter will be in the house for Auburn's kickoff against Georgia Southern, and we'll be right back next week to kind of go over those games and all the action across the SEC, of course. But yeah, let's start it out because do you want to start out with the East or go with the West right off the bat?
Whatever you want to do.
All right, cool. All right, let's go with the West because, of course, I mean that being the premier division, I believe 8 or 9 consecutive winners now from the West have gone on to win the SEC championship, and the rise of the rest really brought the rise of the entire SEC. Of course, you have Florida in there, and they played a significant part. But the West has really carried the banner, whether it's Alabama.
No, there's no
Auburn,
doubt. It's not an argument. I mean, the East has been a joke for the past few years.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, I mean, it's been an absolute joke ever since 2010.
Yeah, and unless something crazy changes, we don't anticipate it changing this year either.
I believe outside of the 2011 SEC championship game between Alabama and Georgia, there really even hasn't been a very competitive SEC championship game.
Yeah.
That game came down the wire. That was a great Georgia team.
Yeah, 2012 is really the only time you can remember.
Was that 2012 or 2011?
2012 was the one with Aaron Murray and Georgia and Todd Gurley, I believe.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you look at the Missouri.
It's basically whoever gets the chance to slaughter Notre Dame in the national championship. We all knew, even though Notre Dame was undefeated that season, we all knew that they were about to get just whooped up on. That's what happened.
It is.
So
who's going to get whipped up on this year?
I'm gonna say it's crazy. I think some things changed for me too, and now when I look at the schedule, Texas A&M may have it the hardest this year.
I do not like their path at all.
No, I don't.
They're 6th or 7th.
And
in the league
their team chemistry is going the wrong way, and this just seems to be a time where two things happen at the same time, like a really tough schedule and a team that doesn't really have an identity, and things go bottom up. So let's take a look at Texas A&M. They'll play UCLA right out the gate. They got to go to UCLA. I think they're going to lose that game right off the bat. And it was a really close game. They won at the last second, knocking down a pass in the red zone last year. But this time around, I see things going pretty much the opposite way. I think, again, it's a close game, but home advantage, I think, is such a big deal in games like this. So I think they're going to lose
I actually
that game
like
right
A&M
out the
in
gate.
that game.
Do you like A&M?
They always come out strong every year, first game of the year.
They first half, really. I mean, it's their record in November that's just totally been
And
downfall.
I don't quite believe in Josh Rosen as a quarterback. No, I mean, he's a great quarterback, but is he a winner? Like, when it comes down to it, is Brady puts up average stats, the dude's a winner. You know what I'm saying?
Will Josh Rosen just be that 8-9 win guy for you who doesn't really amount to much? Will he be one of those quarterbacks? Who knows? But
The phone's ringing. We don't have the phone up. I hope it's not for us.
Me too. Texas A&M, a couple of games. Nichols, Louisiana Lafayette, probably going to win those games. Leaves them in Arlington for their annual match with Arkansas. Now, Arkansas.
That is where they lose. They start 3-1.
3-1.
Lost to Arkansas.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Arkansas has had some
Arkansas
injuries,
going to be at least
but
a game or two
I
above them.
really, with this year, I think there's so much competition in the SEC. It's really hard to pick a last place team. And I feel like that's been easy the past few years. I think it's just jumbled up in the middle. Having Brandon Allen is going to be huge for them.
Yeah. Now, after Arkansas, they got to go. They host South Carolina, and then they host Alabama. Both going to be tough games. Now, I know how you feel about South Carolina, but I think they're headed to a pretty good season.
I think it'll be an average season, but I think A&M gets back up on their feet there. They're 4-1, and then they go with back-to-back losses to Alabama and Florida.
Okay.
Both teams at home, though.
Yeah. I don't know why. I feel like South Carolina's going to win that game, and things are going to go upside down for A&M. I actually have them, when I looked at the schedule, 4-8, 1-7 in conference. It just doesn't favor them very well.
I've got them 3-1, 4-1, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4. I got them 5 to 6 wins.
5-6. It could. There's a couple of coin flip games.
Ole Miss is a coin flip.
Yeah.
Mississippi State's a coin flip, but I think that's a loss,
Yeah.
even though it's in College Station. Auburn is a loss, especially since it's in College Station.
Yeah, they don't seem to be able to.
I think your toss up is Ole Miss, and then LSU is a loss.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Either way, they're looking at
Starting off
best
the
case
season,
scenario, third best in the
To me,
or third worst.
they're starting off
in
the
West.
season. They're starting off the season 4-1, and finishing 6-6.
And isn't that basically what they've done the
Yep.
last few years? But just
Yep.
slowly, it's a game here, a game there from year to year, but they always do worse. Just these last 3 years. And I mean, if this happens, if either one of our scenarios happen, someone's gone by mid-November. They're just gonna.
No,
they're just
I
gonna
don't
cut the cord.
think they'll cut the cord in the middle of the season, unless there's a chance to
But
save
they
it.
wouldn't. But if they get to say a bowl game with a 5 or 6 win season,
6.
would they let him coach it? No way.
Probably not. No.
No.
No, he would. If he knows it's coming, he's going to want to get out, and they're going to want to get their guy in.
Yeah, because he's one. I mean, he'll have a job a month after that. You know, Kevin Sumlin is not worried, folks. He's got a good resume, but you know, $5 million, $6 million a year is nice.
All right, let's look at Ole Miss, who I think we're both. Well, you kind of like them, which is stupid.
Okay, they still got talent.
You got a lot of stupid, thoughts.
Yeah, okay, let's go through.
But I'm going a toss-up between A&M and Ole Miss for last place in the West. So let's look at Ole Miss now. Ole Miss, South Alabama.
They're going to win the first 2 games.
That's going to be a tough game,
Martin.
though, I think, for Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy. South Alabama has performed well and really gave Mississippi a game.
Mississippi State. I think they'll beat South Alabama. I think they'll beat UT Martin up next, September 9th, week 2. Then in Berkeley versus California.
That's a weird game. It's a very strange game. When I saw that they were playing them,
I'm going California.
I'm going to go with California.
If it's at night. If it's during the day, I'm going Ole Miss.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a day game, especially on the West Coast. I think that's a day game, and so I think I'm going to go Ole Miss.
If it's a day game, I go Ole Miss.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. It does kind of, because always the day game favors the road team.
All right, and then they're off.
Yeah,
after California.
The week before Alabama.
Before going to Tuscaloosa in Alabama, and we know what that's gone like the past 3 years.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're setting themselves up for this. You know, you got 8 weeks in a row of games, and 7 of them are against SEC schools. That's not very smart.
They got the bye before
honestly.
Alabama. They've won 2 out of the last 3. Alabama came back last year and won. I think it's going to be a tough game because Ole Miss believes they can beat Alabama. But
they're not
Alabama
scared,
will, and I think Shea Patterson will have success against Alabama. But Alabama will win that game. And then they come to Auburn.
Yeah,
I'm taking Auburn.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just not gonna have. Even by then, I think they're gonna start to drop off. But
So now they're
gonna lose to
3
Auburn.
and 2. Vanderbilt coming into Oxford.
I think they'll win that game.
I think they lose that game. I think they're going to be beat up after playing Alabama and Auburn, the top 2 teams in the SEC this year, back-to-back weeks.
That is true. That's a nice little trap game, as we like to say.
I'm taking Vanderbilt. And then LSU comes to Oxford.
They're going to lose that game. They're just going to lose. It's a toss-up between them and Arkansas.
I take Ole Miss over LSU in the upset.
Really? Interesting. Interesting. So are things changing in your mind for LSU, or is that just a trap game for them?
No, it's just a trap game. You've lost 3 in a row now in the SEC. It's put up or shut up.
Okay.
And I think though they're not having anything to play for, I think pride's going to kick in there with LSU. That's just one of those games you get up for. It's going to be a night game, I bet you, in Oxford.
No doubt.
I'm taking Ole Miss in the upset over LSU there. And so now we got them 4-3.
And they play at home
Arkansas
against Arkansas
coming into Oxford.
I think they would win that game.
I'm taking Arkansas.
Really? Okay. All right. All right. So after Arkansas, they play Kentucky. They got to go to Lexington. If they're coming off that loss to Arkansas, I think that they lose this game in their season.
They're going to lose to Kentucky.
Because at that point, the mental, motivation is gone. Because your season is bottoms up, and this bowl game every weekend
4-4 going into
really
Kentucky.
goes sour.
I'm taking Kentucky.
If they came off that loss, I would take Kentucky, but I think they'll beat Arkansas. So I think they'll beat Kentucky.
They're going to lose to Arkansas.
And they're going to beat Louisiana
They're
Lafayette.
going to lose to Arkansas. They're going to lose to
and
Kentucky.
then they're going to have motivation
Stop daydreaming.
at that point.
No, you're wrong.
Yeah.
No.
If
they're going to upset LSU, but they're
Arkansas
going to lose.
Me is the catalyst.
They're going to lose to Arkansas because that's a must-win for Arkansas because Arkansas plays Auburn the week before. And they're going to lose. Auburn is going to beat Arkansas the week before. All right?
Right.
It's a
must-win
for an Arkansas team that I think is going to finish 3rd or probably fourth in the SEC West.
And that's the make or break game. So you think Arkansas takes an uptick there. I think Ole Miss will.
Arkansas's got more to play for here. Arkansas wins that game.
All right, so if they lose to Kentucky,
they
beat Louisiana Lafayette, but do they beat Texas A&M last week of the season?
that was that toss-up game I was talking about earlier. I don't know.
I think if things end up how I think, they would beat Texas A&M, and I think their season is not completely lost. I think they'll go 6-6. I think the fall of Texas A&M will enable Ole Miss
4-6
to be out of the cellar.
5-6. If they beat A&M, they'll be 6. Is there 13 games in the season now? What am I doing wrong?
No, this is still 12.
Yeah, what am I doing wrong?
I guess you're counting this one right here, the very first one.
3. Loss, win,
This is why you write them down before the show, folks.
Loss, win. Give me a finger. Win. No, I lost my spot. Give me another finger. Put it on this end. Loss.
So 6-6.
6-6.
We agree.
Ole Miss
Just a different road to 6-6. We got to take a break, everybody. We'll be back with the rest of the SEC West in just a moment.
We got Mississippi State.
All right. Welcome back into the program, everybody. On the sidelines here with you, Seth Hagen, Hunter Price. We're going through the SEC West of our SEC football preview. The season just a few short days away, everybody. So we're kind of walking you through the season as we see it. All right. We just got done with Ole Miss. Let's head to Mississippi State. Dan Mullen is steadily building his program very consistently. He's silently become the second longest tenured coach in the league. So do things continue to take an uptake? I personally do. I think I see them coming out 7-5. Let's take a look at their games. Charleston Southern, Louisiana Tech right off the bat. Louisiana Tech, no slouch, but I believe they'll win that game. They get LSU in Starkville. How do you believe that game shakes out? Mississippi State plays them tough.
I like Mississippi State in that game.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Do you think they come out with the outright win? Mm-hmm. Man, you don't like LSU much this year, do you?
I do, but I just because they have a great offensive coordinator, Matt Cannon, I still think they're – I don't know. It's just something – I feel like LSU is going to lose some games they shouldn't. They're going to try and talk, and they can't, kind of like I'm doing right now.
All right. Okay, well, I think they would win there. I think they're going to lose when they go to Georgia in Athens, and then they go to Auburn, and I think they're going to lose that game too. So you're 2-3 right off the bat. You go into your bye, and you got to play BYU coming out of your bye, and you got to win that game to me if you're Mississippi State and you're going to try to get any kind of bowl.
They win that. I was disappointed in BYU yesterday watching them against Portland State. Portland State hung in there a lot longer than they should have and didn't even know they had football in Portland.
Really? So you may take a little step back, and so Mississippi State, team like LSU, they may be catching a bit of a break. We'll see.
Then Kentucky.
Yeah.
In Starkville, I'm going with a loss.
A loss to Kentucky. Ooh, wow. I think they would win. I think they would win that game.
I'm going with a loss.
And by now, if they go to Texas A&M right after that, I think that coming off the Kentucky win, they would beat Texas A&M.
I think coming off the Kentucky loss, they beat Texas A&M.
All right. Okay, I like it.
UMass win.
Yeah, they're familiar with UMass. Went up there last year. Unfortunately, the minimum kind of gave them a game, but
is it me or
the game's in Starkville. They're going to win that.
Does UMass play Mississippi State like every year?
They played them last year, and Mississippi State had to go up to Massachusetts.
Alabama.
I think they played them in like a bowl game.
Okay.
Or something like
it's
that.
It's UMass, so let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. Alabama coming to Starkville, November 11th.
And they're going to smash them.
And that's a loss. It's going to be a close game. It's
them.
not going to be a smash. You're wrong again, but it is a loss. It is a loss.
They're going to get smashed on.
Arkansas in Fayetteville. It's a loss.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of points. But I do say that
pretty sure
loss.
I'm making up this number.
They get Ole Miss at Starkville.
I'm making up this percentage, but it's probably pretty close. I'd say about 95% of the teams lose the week after they play Alabama.
I mean, that's a significant trend that has been the case the last few seasons.
So lost to Arkansas, they beat Ole Miss.
You think they're going to beat Ole Miss?
And so they're going to finish the
I would
season
agree with that.
with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins.
Okay, so you say Mississippi State 6-6. All right, I think 7-5, but that was because we think differently on the LSU game.
And Kentucky.
And Kentucky, one way or another. Let's see. After Mississippi State,
Arkansas.
I think Arkansas is right after that. I think
Arkansas
that's how
fourth.
they end up.
Yep.
So Arkansas, let's take a look at them. They play this, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever the 31st
August
is.
31st in Little Rock, Florida A&M, the Rattlers.
Yep, and they're going to get that win.
That's going to be a win.
Yeah, they're going to get that win, no doubt.
TCU in Fayetteville, win.
Yes. I believe they were up by a couple of scores against TCU last year when they met them in Texas. So I think they get that one. They'll get their bye week really early. They'll play Texas A&M. I think they'll play very well and rested off that.
Especially with the injuries they've had, 2 weeks, bye week. That's going to be strong for them. That's a win.
Yeah.
New Mexico State.
So 4-0 right off the bat.
Win.
Now, they got to go to South Carolina, and I think that's where
Loss.
the gravy train ends.
Loss.
Yes.
Alabama and Tuscaloosa.
It starts a bad little stretch for them. They got to
Close
play
game, but
South
a
Carolina,
loss.
Alabama, Auburn. That's a tough
Auburn
gauntlet.
and Fayetteville, loss.
Yeah.
Ole Miss and Oxford.
You already said a win there, and I believe I went opposite.
Coastal Carolina, win.
Yeah.
LSU.
They seem to have something on LSU, don't they? Like it seems like every year.
It's a loss there.
Where's the game?
It's in Baton Rouge.
It's in Baton Rouge. Yeah.
It's a loss.
I think LSU gets that one.
Mississippi State. In Fayetteville, I'm taking a win.
In Fayetteville.
And
then
Missouri.
In Fayetteville. Again, a win. In Fayetteville, I say a win.
Yeah.
If it was in Missouri, I'd give it to Missouri.
So I got
the Missouri
Arkansas finishing 4th in the West with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 wins.
8-4.
8 wins. I think they'll go 7-5, but that's good enough for 4th.
I think you're wrong again.
Well, that's where we differ, and we know
That's where I'm
how
right.
that goes.
That's where I'm right.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're gonna see.
I'm right.
We're gonna see what happens.
I'm right every time.
All right, LSU.
I'm always
Oopsie.
right.
LSU. They're gonna play
BYU
in Houston.
In Houston, I'm taking.
You didn't like BYU.
I did like BYU, but I'm taking LSU
before,
now. Yep,
and
I saw BYU
before you
play this
saw them.
weekend.
Yeah.
People didn't know there was college football this weekend. Jacksonville State played. They won. Colorado State beat the snot out of Oregon State.
Yeah. Now, Oregon State, not such a good team. They were last in the Pac-12, and they've been kind of at the bottom of the pile for a while now.
No, I mean, it was ugly. Oregon State scored the first touchdown in the college football season, and that's the only highlight they're going to have this year.
Ouch. Those poor Beavers.
Mike Riley, come back to me, please.
Lots of pelts this season, Hunters. So keep your
LSU
trucks ready.
beat BYU,
Okay.
beat Chattanooga.
Yes. Mississippi State. You think they lose? I think I think they win.
Syracuse win.
Win. Troy win. So I think they start off 5-0. They'll play Florida in Gainesville. I believe they have revenge.
It's a win for LSU.
Yeah.
Auburn and Baton Rouge loss.
It's the way. Yeah. This year that streak finally ends.
Ole Miss.
I've said that before though.
Ole Miss and Oxford.
They're winning. They're beating Ole Miss.
Who did I pick to win that game?
I don't know. Go back to your chart.
I wasn't keeping up with it.
Okay. I
actually had them
I think they're gonna win
upsetting LSU.
that one. So
it's a loss.
to me, they're 7-1 before Alabama. To me,
Loss.
But they're going to lose because until they prove otherwise, LSU is going to lose to Alabama forever.
I'm going. LSU beats Ole Miss.
Yes, of course.
Lost to Alabama, Arkansas.
I think they win in Baton Rouge. I think we said that when we just went over Arkansas's schedule. They go to Knoxville after that, And by then, I think Tennessee will be beaten down, so that's an easy win for them.
Beaten down, or they're going to be a young team that's now experienced, not a young team anymore?
No, I think the mantras and Bruce being Bruce
Going with a loss.
not going to work. Yeah.
Going with a loss to Tennessee in Knoxville.
Yeah, and A&M's
What,
going to
you're
be the
saying,
same way.
yeah, you agree with me, but I'm saying Tennessee beats LSU.
Yeah. Well, LSU after a tough stretch there, they're going to get one of the
And a
easiest
win.
Novembers in the
So
conference.
LSU finishing third in the West with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. 8 and 4 losses to Mississippi State, Auburn, Alabama, and Tennessee.
But you got them beating Arkansas, so they would have while they would have an identical record, they would get
The third place.
They would get the that
Now,
term. All right,
let's
so
go to Auburn.
Yeah,
Yep.
Auburn right off the bat. Georgia Southern heavily favored, so they're going to smash them.
That's not. They're not going to smash them. Auburn's going to have a great season. I guarantee you, at halftime, this is a one-score game.
Guarantee.
Well, not guarantee. I'm not putting anything on it, but yeah, this is.
It'll
going to
depend on how good they
This
are
is going
against
to be
the pass.
this is going to be a tough game for Auburn with this. Now they've had all summer to prep for the triple option. What Kevin still hasn't seen is a triple option out of a shotgun, and that's what Georgia Southern's running.
Okay.
Now they're going to have a package under center of the triple option, but they're going to be a triple option shotgun team, which I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you?
No, I don't
Very
see. I don't see it
strange.
too much outside of Georgia Tech. So
That Georgia Tech doesn't go shotgun a lot.
yeah, exactly.
So Georgia Southern, they have pride. I mean, that is a tough team to play. They beat Florida. They've almost beat Ole Miss last year. They put up over 300 rushing yards on Alabama 2 or 3 years ago. This is going to be a tough game for Auburn. So, actually, let's cut to break.
Okay. And come back with
And come
Alabama
back.
and Auburn.
Richard just came and did that.
Yeah. So it means we got to pay some bills. So we'll be right back. Second half of the show coming right up.